one of my friends made me a shirt with iron-on letters.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And on the front, it said Mrs. Harry Styles. And on the back, it said "What's happening?" And I wore it. I immediately went to the bathroom and changed and wore that shirt. And I wore it multiple times. And I still
You
have
wore it in public?
At school, Max, at school.
Not at school. Not at school. Was happening?
Why would you say that to me?
You're insecure.
Don't get us.
Okay. So hello.
Okay, we don't own that song.
I played less than 10 seconds.
I fucking knew you were gonna pull some shit like this. Okay, fine. I fucking knew you were gonna pull some shit like that.
I'm so fucking excited.
Ow. All right,
hi.
y'all. It's time.
I'm Maxie.
Hi. I am Carolyn.
And this is Mutable Immutables, the show where normally we quibble queerly, but today is special. Today
Stop.
Today is the day
I'm so...
that we have been waiting for, that I have been waiting for since this podcast was conceived. Carolyn and I will not say former because one dream, no, fuck, I fucked it up, whatever. One band, one dream, one direction.
Oh my god. Fake fan, you fucking directionator.
How fucking dare, how very dare directionator bullshit. Take that shit home. I will not. Anyway.
Take that shit home or take
me home. Yeah.
Get it?
Girl, get it. Yes.
Get it?
Okay, so we were gonna record this last week, which was last Saturday was July 23rd, a very, very sacred day for those of us who destroyed our teenage years listening to the iconic band One Direction that no longer exists, but they do in our heart. And so since we couldn't talk about it last week, we're gonna talk about it this week, and just how they shaped us and what role this band played in our lives when they came onto the scene 12 fucking years ago, by the way.
Okay, you have to stop screaming in my headphones, but
I'm sorry.
I understand the sentiment because I'm like, that's okay. But I'm like totally there in spirit, but because I don't know, I like did not engage with any content at all. And then a couple weeks ago, my friends and I, for some goddamn reason, got onto the X Factor auditions and watched them.
Oh my god.
And then we kind of had been in a like reminiscing stage.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, finally feel like I'm emotionally prepared to do this episode. Max, what you said was true. They have been begging me since this started to do this episode, and I kept saying I can't. I'm sorry,
yes.
I can't. So here we are on episode whatever.
I do have to say, yeah, I don't even know. Is this episode 20? I don't know. I have to say, though, to keep us humble, I was telling my boyfriend about this the other night. I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about One Direction and stuff because they just had their, like, 12-year anniversary. And so he was like, wait, you guys are going to talk about the 12th anniversary of a band that only existed for 5 years and has been broken up for 7 years. And I was like, first of all, one band, one dream, one direction. Okay, it's more than that. Second
the Beatles only existed for 10 years.
Yeah.
People still talk about the fucking Beatles.
People do not shut up about the Beatles, and I will not shut up about One Direction. I'm sorry. And I also have to preface this by saying, I know that their music is not necessarily what a lot of people would call good. I love it, and I also hate it at the same time. Like, one of my favorite songs is one of, I think, the worst songs that they have ever done, but also one of the best songs that they have ever done. But we'll get into it. I got some things planned. I'm
Please
excited.
enlighten us. Okay.
Oh
my god, I hate this already.
No, you don't. Okay. All right. So, I'm so excited.
I'm ready to break my silence.
Okay. So, we're going to start easy. And let's just talk about kind of where we were when we first got sucked into the world of One Direction, or like what era of your life were you in? How did you find out about them? That kind of thing.
Okay. Not to be that girl, but it was right before What Makes You Beautiful came out. Like, literally right before, probably like a month.
You're aging yourself.
I was following... Fuck you. I was following this person on this little underground website. You've probably never heard of it. It was called tumblr.com.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
This person changed their, like, I was following them for some other reason, and then they changed into a like One Direction blog, and their thing was like something about amazing. Something.
That hits.
Yeah. And I just kept seeing her post, and I was like, fuck you. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm being so like
Louis likes carrots.
Snippy, but please. So I like finally just like went on the blog, and it was one of those things where I was like, I just want to be able to tell them apart.
Right.
I just want to be able to know their names.
Yeah, sure. Innocent.
And then like at some point, my friend that I've known for like years and years, we had a class together, and she was like, I heard this song. Have you heard it? And I was like, wait, yeah. Like, that's crazy. It had played on the radio. And so we started, I don't know, like, I don't remember exactly how it sparked, but like, okay, so then in this other class, I met a different friend. We like literally just sat at a table together. I had I had a binder with photos of them.
Yes. Yeah.
On the front of it.
Yep.
And so like I got paired up with this like this girl, this other person who has now come out as non-binary, and this Mormon. So
Not the Mormon.
The person so anyway, so this person who is now one of my best friends was like, is that One Direction? And I was like, how do you know One Direction? And so that started there. So here's the thing. We had this other class where me and the new friend and my old friend all had this class together.
Perfect.
There was this other girl also in this class.
Yes.
Right? Her older sister was friends with the other new friend's older sister. I'm trying not to say they probably like want their privacy, whatever. Anyway, their older sisters were friends, and we're like, we have younger sisters who are socially weird and like need friends. Didn't know anybody else. So that's how they hooked up. And then I don't know how that person found out about One Direction, but she did a like sneaky force friendship where she like followed all of our social media's accounts. Okay. And that's how she like infiltrated her friend group. Her. And at one point, the other new friend was like, she's like, there's this girl in our class, and she also likes One Direction.
Ally. And
the rest is history. So it was us four.
Beautiful.
Probably the most impactful part though is and you can ask anybody who was there, the creation of Stan Twitter started with One Direction fans.
I'd believe it.
And it started with this one person in particular, at least that I remember. Their Tumblr name was or Twitter name, I don't remember, was Vasapnan Styles.
Very good. Yes.
And it was literally the first time that, at least that I had ever seen, where fandom was expressed by being like, oh my god, fuck you, I hate you. Right? Like, until then, it had only been, I'm just saying in my experience, because like the Beliebers and whatever were there. I don't, whatever. But it was the first time that it wasn't like lovey-dovey. It was like, this is so embarrassing because I'm about to say this word, and if you know, you know. We called it the sassdom. SASSDOM.
My God, that throws me back. Holy shit.
I unfortunately thank God that for some reason I decided to go with a different version of my name on that account, which I probably should do for this podcast.
She was incognito.
Yeah. No, literally, I have never gone by that nickname before or since, and like the account doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like,
what was your name?
Even though like I had a lot. I I honestly can't remember what my Twitter name was. Oh no, I do. Linderella.
Linderella.
It's Linderella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Work.
But yeah, so that was kind of my relationship with it, and I unfortunately had a couple times where I would tweet a tweet and it would get out of the circle of the
Brush with Fame,
like get out of the circle into the not with fame, like into fans that like were offended by that type of
gotcha,
like humor. One particular time,
did you get a death threat?
I had multiple, and like sometimes when people say they get death threats, my first thought is to be like, I don't believe you, but then I remember this happened to me. I had no sense of like privacy for myself or like boundaries on the internet. Like thank God I like didn't have my full name out connected to these, but
yeah, directioners are like, fucking scared. They're fucking, oh my God, FBI, CIA,
they're insane. Yeah, so there was at one point, and like I don't remember all the details because quite frankly they're somewhere in the back of my brain, and I don't feel like accessing that part of my life anymore.
It out. Trauma response.
Yeah, cuz like at some point, like I'm a grown woman. I don't need to know that much about 5 strangers.
Right,
like
yeah.
No. But at one point, and you know, I'm like 15 16 probably, just like expressing my like newfound sexuality kind of through this, you know, and I think that's a common experience for like fandom teens.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
shaving their whole
like,
fucking 13-year-old pussies to go see Justin Bieber. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay, that was
no. Have you
shocking?
Not...
Okay.
Have you not seen that tweet or something where this girl is?
I have. that wording was just like
visceral.
Shocking to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a reality.
Visceral. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's like you're not necessarily ready to start like engaging with your peers in that way, but like it feels safer and like easier to put it on like a celebrity. So that's how I have rationalized it. So I learned a lot about about the horrible things that exist on the internet, and just like
yeah, I won't lie, part of my sex ed in terms of like gay sex, I mean obviously porn, but like One Direction fan fiction specifically, and it's problematic because the majority of those fan fictions that I read that described in a lot of detail these scenes between these two real people, which by the way kind of super duper fucked up that happened, but these people didn't know. These people who were writing this were not people with penises most of the time who engaged in that type of activity. So it's like, why did I think that they were the authority, or why did I think that I should be taking this and being like, oh yeah, that's how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say because like I feel like it's a really specific experience to people who were like, I don't know, just for people who engage in any kind of fandom, I feel like there's a similar type of person who had that phase like in their teens. You know, like I had friends, but I was fucking weird and like
if we blow it
inept.
up and look at it in like a kind of in a larger context, I mean, so when One Direction hit the scene, it was just about the time that Tumblr started to take off, and One Direction was a large part of Tumblr taking off. So was like Doctor Who and Sherlock and Supernatural, Harry Potter. Those things were kind of the onset of Tumblr fandom core, and it
Yeah.
was at this time. Like, I mean, people had Facebook and stuff, but that was largely for like your more local social circles, like people
And
that
I
you
feel
knew in
like,
real life.
and like Instagram wasn't really a thing yet
No, it was
until we were like juniors and seniors in high school. I
Instagram
don't
as we know
really
it today
remember.
did not exist at this time. Like you could share pictures, you couldn't even share videos at this time, and it was nowhere near
You
as
could
wide
share a
reaching.
square.
Yeah, it was just a square.
And we didn't even have the
There were no
white
stories.
the
Yeah.
apps with the white stripes.
Yeah.
No.
So it was also at this time that people really started to find a community of people with common interests that they did not know in real life. And like, I mean, the way that we kind of conceptualize the internet now, I feel like, is that it's so present in our lives. We think that it's just been this behemoth that's existed for like so long. But
No, it's only in the last like
5 or 10 years.
8 or
Yeah.
like 8 years or so. Like,
And so the fandom core like really was in its infancy at the time of One Direction, and so it was just like it was this new unexplored ground for so many people, and so we didn't know how to act. We didn't know, what we should be doing. There wasn't really a lot of call out culture unless you were like, "Oh, I think, this song sucks." And then they're like, "Okay, fuck you." It was
yeah,
not
I
at all what it
remember
is today.
some very, very offensive words being said by people who shouldn't be saying them.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think about it, and like I've thought about this a little bit, like at that frame of time in terms of the internet's history, I would say that is probably, and not just because I was in like middle school, early high school at this point, but I would say that is probably like the middle school age of the internet and like fandom culture and stuff, because we hadn't reached a collective maturity yet. Not to say that the internet has ever really had like a maturity, but I think now we're approaching this point where it's like, okay, cancel culture is this real thing. We're holding people accountable. We're enforcing respectability as much as we
Okay.
can. There are still so many issues, but like these
Cancel
discuss.
culture is not a real thing.
Well,
we'll
okay,
talk about
that's a
it.
separate topic that we didn't ever get to. But anyway, um, what a foundational time. I had a similar.
Yes, so what's your story? What's your deal?
So actually at the time, it was just after What Makes You Beautiful had come out. And I
knew them first.
yeah, okay.
I knew them.
Listen
before it
though,
came out.
because there are layers. One of the biggest
I'm so sorry. I love being that person.
No, it's okay. And I wish so much that I could be that person. But
Whatever.
but unfortunately there were layers to it because I mean, first of all, I wasn't like watching X Factor. Like we didn't have BBC or anything like that in my house. So I wasn't like watching X Factor. I didn't really know who they were. I had heard What Makes You Beautiful a bunch, obviously. And I'd kind of thought it was annoying until I started to encounter pictures of the boys on the internet, and I was like,
The boys.
they're kind of cute. And also at this point, and this is like, I mean, they hold a very dear place in a lot of people's hearts, but for me it was because like they weren't my sexual awakening or anything, but I discovered them literally the exact same time that I had like accepted my own sexuality. Like I'd come out to myself through One Direction by telling myself it's okay
And they're, like,
for me to enjoy
intertwined.
yeah, they're just so closely linked together. And so originally I had gotten on Tumblr because one of my friends had recommended it because we had a lot of the same nerdy interests, specifically Avatar. And so my friend was like, you should get on Tumblr. There's a lot of people who do like these little like Avatar blogs. They do fan art, they do little stories, and
Yeah.
whatever. And so I was like, okay. And so I started out as an Avatar blog. And this was at the same time that the sequel series Legend of Korra had just came out. So there was like a lot of fresh content. It was really cool. And then very much like you, I had started to see pictures of One Direction popping up just because they were so like omnipresent.
Right.
Like they were everywhere. You could not, it doesn't matter.
They were perfect. They were perfect for that time.
Yes, they really were. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so I couldn't get away from them. And I had like tried to avoid it a little bit because I thought that I was supposed to be not into it. A, because of the sexuality thing, but B, because the song was playing everywhere and I thought that I was supposed to be like, oh, this is like, it's a
Ooh.
popular top 40. It's annoying. I don't want to engage. I'm cooler than that. Um,
I definitely struggled with that sentiment.
yeah.
Maybe still continue to.
I mean, listen, I fought that sentiment for Justin Bieber, but if I had been just a little bit weaker, a little bit earlier in my life, I probably would have been a diehard believer too. And I'm thankful that I'm not because I really only had the capacity for One Direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I was introduced to Justin Bieber. I think I was a little like too young to be. I wasn't on the internet or anything yet, so like
I was on the internet, but
too early.
I mean, the internet was different when Justin Bieber really hit the scene. I just remember hearing Baby all the time and being like, oh, I'm so sick of that song. That's annoying. But then secretly being like, his hair's kind of cute. But I was also like, I was 12 and I had just had this traumatic thing happen in terms of my sexuality. And so I was like pushing it all away. Anyway.
Yeah. And yeah, back in the day, Facebook literally only consisted of
Farmville
memes
and
about
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Just like, he's a girl, his voice is high, he's gay, literally anything. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so I did not hop
Anyway.
on the Bieber train, which,
No.
whatever, I'm not bothered by it. But
1D came just in time.
One Direction came
to
at
shape
the
my
absolute
entire
perfect
social
time.
life.
Yep, it really
Yup.
because also, I mean, I was 14 when I discovered One Direction, and that is like that's already such a formative time, regardless of what your exterior influences are, because like you at that point are just this rebellious fucking sponge. You're like, I'm going to do literally anything and everything that is not what
Yeah.
my parents want me to do or be interested in.
And you're a freshman. You're a freshman in high school. When
Yeah,
you're 14,
you're
so
defining
like,
yourself. Yeah.
I am hot shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Um
I'm in high school.
which woof. But yeah, so I discovered them I think in like 2011 or 2012, which was when What Makes You Beautiful was absolutely everywhere. And I think I discovered, and I think we talked about this, I discovered them very much the same way that you did, where like they just kept popping up, and I had some people
Yeah.
that were Avatar blogs that had converted to One, because it was like a cult also.
Yep.
The One Direction Tumblr fandom was a cult, and you could watch your mutuals get sucked in and indoctrinated, and they cut their hair, they changed their name, they changed their like everything. It was crazy. And I too did fall
Oh, God.
into that.
No, exactly. They got me too.
Yeah, they got me, gals.
They got me, gals.
So yeah, and then I don't know. I kept it secret because of sexuality reasons in my own like
Yeah.
past. But I did. So I didn't make any like pre-existing One Direction connections at school because like honestly there weren't that many girls at my school that were really into it.
That you knew of.
That I knew of. Yeah, that's fair. But one of my best friends, who I started to get close to after I had encountered One Direction. Like we started to get really close, I think like sophomore year. And then by the time I got a license after sophomore year, we were driving around and I was, playing One Direction all the time. And I like forcibly and unconsensually turned this person into a One Direction like
Oh
stan.
God.
Yeah, just out of like the sheer volume of like just One Direction that I was putting at her, because I was talking to her about it all the time. I was playing it all the time. I would send her posts on
You
Tumblr.
were brainwashing her.
I was fully
you were brainwashing
indoctrinating
this
her.
poor girl.
Yes. Yeah. And do you know what
Oh my
though?
God.
One of my shining moments was she turned to me in the car one day and she was like, "You know what? I think I fucking
Oh,
get it."
God.
She was like, "I get it." And I just fucking love them.
No,
And I was like, "Yes!"
I've had some.
I got so hyped.
I've had people, I like specifically this one person that I used to be really close friends with, like years later after like we hadn't really spoken. Nobody cared. None of us cared about One Direction anymore. But she was like, "You know what? You introduced me to One Direction.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks." I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
No, it was like, I almost felt like a drag mom because I watched her and her Tumblr slowly become One Direction
my
obsessed.
God.
She turned
Not a drag
she
mom.
turned into a Louis girl. She would like send me. She
Yeah.
started sending me Yeah, I know. Listen, I can only do
A
so
Louis
much.
girl?
I can only do so much.
Those exist?
They did.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me not.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, it was great. So let's talk about now. What was your favorite album and or favorite song? And you can pick multiple. I know there's a lot. You can pick like a favorite song from an album. Let's just talk about it.
Okay. If you had asked me a couple of years ago, I would have said like probably Midnight Memories, and like at one point I might have said Take Me Home. But looking back, like Up All Night is just so, including the B-sides,
Yes,
is just like, I just like love it.
I think
it was so
specifically the
quintessential
B-sides.
pop. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, na 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 na.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite One Direction song, at least off the top of my head, is Stay Mistakes.
Yes.
I love that song.
Oh, I love Same Mistakes. Hang on.
I also love Night Changes.
Okay.
Which is a basic answer, I feel like, but
I mean, yeah, it is.
I just love them.
So
They're fun little pop songs.
Carolyn is absolutely right. And this is what I was referencing earlier. So there is a very palpable improvement in the quality of their music and their lyrics throughout their 5.5-year span.
Sure.
And their first album, Up All Night, it's like so palpably manufactured and so like, let's just crank out some top 40s. Let's just this is what pop music is.
But here's the thing. This is exactly what Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols was. It was a group of boys hand-selected in order to form a certain image. This manager person like put them together and was like, you're going to be this image for my store. So the Sex Pistols were like, anyway, this is off topic. But anyway, like, this is exactly what they was. They were picked and chosen and like written the perfect pop album for the time,
which I think,
and like forced the image.
I think Up All Night, the album, was their first, like, I don't think they did as much writing on that one as they did the other one. Like, the more albums they did and the more they strayed from that initial like quintessential pop boy group NSYNC vibe, when they started to come more into their own, then the sound started to change, the quality started to get better, and cool, whatever, I'm happy for them. But like these first however many like 16 songs, whatever, bad but incredible. Like, one of my favorites is Stand Up, which is like, I was listening to it in the shower today.
The one about a bank robbery?
Yes! I was like, this is so, like, this is insane. And like, there are so many of these songs where they're not saying anything at all. Like, none of these words mean anything, but they are
It's
fucking
like, nah,
bops.
nah, nah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. No. Okay.
Oh God, it's so stupid.
Speaking of Up All Night B-sides, which the treatment that it got was kind of more like almost like a single, even though it wasn't officially. The
Right.
chokehold that Moments had on the fandom.
Stop. Wait, was that a B-side?
I don't know if
Was
it
it?
technically was, but it was like, it definitely
I thought
wasn't
that-
the
I'm
ones that
pretty
they
sure that was-
pushed.
No. But like, I remember when the Tumblr girlies like said that song was about killing yourself.
What, because he talked about
Yeah,
dancing
I
next
don't
to a
know.
cliff or something? I don't know.
I don't fucking remember. It's been a long time.
Another World also. Holy shit, I just remembered that one. I'm looking through the list now.
Wow.
Okay, here, I'm gonna...
Oh wow. Baby, let me find out your secret.
So the ones that
Let me
everyone
show
knows
you
and loves from this album are obviously What Makes You Beautiful, One Thing, Up All Night, all bangers, Tell Me a Lie. But the real good shit is like Everything About You. It's everything about you. Or like
Oh God.
Taken, Tell Me a Lie.
Oh yeah. I
know.
loved Taken at the time. I was like, this is so deep.
Now,
Like my 14-year-old self could not. I was like, oh, that's so deep.
I will say, even to this day, like every album of theirs has a different brand, and Up All Night holds
like the one where they just sampled classic rock music the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the earlier stuff.
I loved it.
I prefer the earlier stuff for sure. It was all good, but well, I mean, but the entirety of my time in the fandom, the two albums that I listened to the most were Up All Night and then Take Me Home, which I think might be their best album.
Same.
Like Up All Night, it is like
I
poppy,
love Take Me Home.
but Take Me Home is poppy. It's substantive. They were coming into their own image. They had like an actual legitimate following. It was not as just like manufactured for hits. Like it was, and every song, it is a no skip album.
So most of the time, you get the sophomore slump.
Mm-hmm.
And like the saying goes, you have your entire life to create your first album, but you have 1 year to create your second album.
That's another thing.
Right?
Each of these albums was made in a year, by the way. 5 albums in 5 years. Just saying.
Yeah, but no, I definitely think that like musically, like this Take Me Home probably like holds up the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've like listened to it because like I said, I don't want to engage with that part of my life. But like if my memory serves correctly, I remember it being like
Let me refresh your memory. How about that?
Please
don't. So we start out with
don't.
Live While We're Young.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
Oh my god.
Move on to Kiss You. The way that I loved Kiss You, first of all.
Please.
Little Things, which I actually was not that into.
The way my mom used to make fun of that song, my mom hated that song. She would be like, he's just talking about all the things she hates about herself.
Yeah.
And saying, it's okay, I love you. Which is exactly what they were doing.
I was never really into that one. I thought it was too transparent. I don't know.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Come On, Come On.
But my mom
Last
hated
First
it.
Kiss. Heart Attack. Rock Me. The way that Rock Me. Oh my god, my hormonal 15-year-old self. I would over again. Back for You. They don't know about the things we do. Summer Love. She's Not Afraid. Baby, I loved you first. Nobody compares.
I can't
Still
do
the one. Truly, madly, deeply, magic, irresistible. This album is full of nonstop bangers. It is so fucking good.
Okay, so I feel like the track list from Up All Night, that's like etched in my heart and brain forever.
Naturally.
Because I like fell asleep listening to that CD in my boombox, LOL.
Yep.
Every night. So like I know that album front and backwards, but like Take Me Home, I like have not thought about half of those songs in so long.
Take Me Home turned me into a woman.
So I had multiple copies of Up All Night. My poor parents. And I think what happened is my friend bought Take Me Home and then Midnight Memories, and then I don't think we did the fourth one. She would buy the CD and then burn us all a copy. So
I pirated the first two. I just downloaded all the. You remember the YouTube lyric videos? I downloaded all those and made CDs for the first two.
I definitely did like YouTube to MP3 because I had all of their like
savior of the
people. It would be like a 30-second clip of them singing "Give Me, Gimme, Gimme a Man After Midnight," and I would just have it like on my iPod. Which, oh my god, I really am dating myself this episode.
Yeah.
My boombox and my iPod. Back before social media existed on phones.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, it was transformative. And like, so the Take Me Home album has such a specific place in my heart because like I love Up All Night, but even when I was listening to it when I was first becoming a fan, I was like, this is garbage, and I accept that. Like, it's good garbage, but it's, but then, time moved on a little bit. Then Take Me Home comes out. I'm a year older. I'm now a sophomore in high school. Their sophomore album has just come out. I am a lot more comfortable with myself and what I'm into, and every one of these songs is so good. And, like, oh my god, it just, like, for some reason, I don't know. Like, I can't say it's my favorite over Up All Night because, like, that's just quintessential. That's just, like, that's it,
Right.
It was
My
so
favorite,
good.
Up All Night. The best, probably Take Me Home.
Yeah, I would agree
Right?
verbatim with that. Yeah, because like I mean, now I will say, Midnight Memories, their third album, was also very strong, but I just could not really get
Oh,
into up on or not what is it, Made in the AM and Four. I just didn't really get into them as much as I did the first. Like there are bangers on there
wait.
for sure, but
Do they have? Wait, do they have 5 albums? I thought they had.
fake
4
fan.
albums. I really am a fake fan. After Midnight Memories, I like cut off.
No, I did
dropped
too.
off
Because
so
like
I do not know anything that happened after that.
I mean, I didn't drop out. Like I was still very much there.
I really thought it was only 4. Ooh.
No.
Wait, is the fifth one? Is the fifth one with only 4 of them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't count. It doesn't count then. I am right. They have 4 albums.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, Midnight Memories, I think, was their last like truly One Direction album, because even though Zayn was still there with Four just felt different in a way that I was like, this is not the same.
Max, to be honest, I don't know to this day if I have ever listened to Four. And I could not tell you one song on that album. But I don't know that I ever even listened to it.
Well,
please don't.
No, you probably did. Girl Almighty, Ready to Run, Steal My Girl.
Oh!
Fool's
Oh,
Gold,
wait,
Night
okay,
Changes. You said Night Changes. That's from Four. No Control, the horniest song that they've
Wait,
done.
they're from... Hold on.
Stockholm Syndrome,
on.
Clouds, Change Your Ticket.
Hold on.
Act My Age.
Hold on.
I mean,
I'm
Four
doing
is a banger
retcon on
too,
myself
but
right now. Please, hold
Where
on.
Do Broken Hearts Go? Like,
Max, I'm asking you to hold on.
I can't. We also totally skipped over
Wait, so
Midnight
what's on-
Memories, which is also full of bangers.
Okay, I think I thought that a lot of those songs were on Midnight Memories. I definitely did listen to 4. What am I talking about? I think I just have like no memories of listening to it.
So, what was your... Now, we
I
do
don't
have
know.
to talk about Midnight Memories, which had...
Oh, I loved that album.
It
I
was
was
a
such a
fantastic
smartass about it.
album.
I'd be like, this is just a Def Leppard song. Oh, it was awful.
But it was a great album. Out the gate with Best Song Ever. Fantastic. Story of My Life. Very good. Midnight Memories fucking goes hard. You and I actually hate. I hate that song.
Why? It's fine. Well,
I mean,
I
it's
guess I get
okay,
it.
but
It's not-
it's got a different sound, and I wasn't into it as much. But like, Don't Forget Where You Belong, Strong, Happily, Right Now, Little Black Fucking Dress. Oh my god. Little White Lies, Better Than Words, Why Don't We Go There, Does He Know, Alive, and then Half a Heart. These are fucking... Oh, also, wasn't Diana on this album? Diana was on this album. Yeah, I named my first car after that
I'm
song.
gonna go ahead and apologize because this is gonna be horrible for you to listen back to.
Oh, it's okay. No, I'm fine. It's also
I
gonna be
cannot stop
long.
singing these god awful songs. Like, I may have to listen to some of these songs for the first time in probably like 5 years.
You should do it. I listened to a bunch of them in the shower today, and like while I was getting ready, and like I'll listen to some every now and then. Like I've got some that are on my playlist. Like I think Olivia is on one of my summer playlists or something like that.
I don't think I know that song.
Yeah, you do. I love you. I love you. I love Olivia. You know that one? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't ring a bell.
But going back
Doesn't
and
matter.
listening to it is a journey, and this is why I very specifically do not listen to them frequently, because if I'm like really in a low place or something like that, I basically use their discography as like a memory time capsule, where like if I'm having a really bad day, I'll go back and listen to Up All Night and remember just like being 14 and giddy and staying up all night, pun intended, to listen to like their music and just be on Tumblr. Like it just puts me in such a better place. So you should do it. Run down that memory lane. Four was different. Four was like very like Midnight Memories was a bit transitional from, because Up All Night and Take Me Home were similar in terms of like pop factor, but then Midnight Memories was like a transitional phase before they like as they were really starting to get into their own shit. And then
now that
Four
I'm
is,
looking
like,
at this,
actually
I'm
different.
like, now that I'm like looking at this track list, I'm like, yeah, no, these are definitely some of my favorite songs.
It was good.
theirs.
I'm looking at this too, and I'm like,
I
also forgot they were on Four. I thought they were on Midnight Memories.
Right, all of these, I thought, I don't know, I guess I just never paid attention.
Clouds, Change
And like
Your Ticket,
yeah, I don't know.
Spaces.
Act My Age.
No Control,
They
by the way,
said,
we have to talk about that being the horniest fucking song. Do you remember when you, like, first put it together where it's like, holy shit, this whole song is talking about them waking up horny as shit? Do you remember how that rocked your world
Yeah.
and ruined your innocence?
I mean, I was very much corrupted by that point, so like it was not a shock to me.
I mean, I was corrupted by that point too, but I don't know if this is like part of their brand. Like, I was surprised that they were doing something that to me felt like more blatant, but I mean, I guess that's why it wasn't like a single, but I don't know. I was
I
happy
think a
about
lot
it.
of their,
Although,
a lot of those
also
songs are
looking
pretty
back,
horny.
like Rock Me, that was horny.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw right through them. I was like, I see you. I see what you're doing.
And then we finally get into their final album, and we will talk about the traumatic event in a second. But their final album did also have some really good songs on it, even if it was the one that I probably listened to the least. But like, Drag Me Down,
I honest to
everyone
God
knows.
only recognize that one song. That is the only song that I could sing on this album.
Really? Drag Me Down is the only one?
Yeah.
Girl, I will say a lot of these are really good. It was like my least listened to album, but so Hey Angel, really good. Perfect is all right. Infinity, really great if you want to feel melodramatic. End of the Day is one that's on one of my summer playlists. If I Could Fly is another one of those that's like kind of, I don't want to say melodramatic, but it's like if you want to like have some crocodile tears. Long Way Down is all right. Never Enough is all right. Olivia's fun. What a Feeling's like honestly kind of forgettable. Love You Goodbye, another melodrama. There was a lot of melodrama on this one, but I think that's because they knew it was going to be their last one. I Want to Write You a Song is bad. I'm just gonna say it. It's a very bad contrived song. History's okay. Temporary Fix, Walking in the Wind, Wolves AM. Like it's an all right album. It's not a bad album. But it's not as listenable because A, Zayn is not there, and B, we and they and everybody knew this was gonna be like we all kind of had a feeling like this is their last one.
Yeah.
Especially once people found out
Right.
about History, they were like, okay, this is their goodbye album. And it like for a goodbye album, it's great. They've got several
But
like
here's the
goodbye
thing.
songs on there.
Max, I have expressed this sentiment to you before for sure, and maybe even on this podcast. I think a lot of bands should have
A
called it
farewell
quits
album.
after a set period of
Oh.
time. Quit while you're ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Beatles, like, it wasn't necessarily, that's not how it happened, but they were only around for 10 years. And so we're like, all of these great albums, they never, like, started making prog rock or experimented with hip hop or whatever.
No,
you know?
yeah.
It was like, and everybody made their own music afterwards, and like the Beatles were like this sacred set of 10 years. Like, so one of my, actually my other favorite band during this time was Fun.
Oh yeah.
You remember?
I didn't get like super into them, but yeah.
I loved them. I still think their songs hold up. They have 2 albums, and then they went on like a hiatus.
So did One
What
Direction,
it's like,
but you know.
Exactly. But Jack Antonoff was in that band, and now he writes music for all the pop girlies, Lorde, Taylor Swift, like literally everybody.
Well, so I
And
think
I'm just glad it's like those 2 albums are like that's fun, and like I don't have to worry about like, ooh, I hate the direction they took here. I hated this new member. Right? Like it can be that perfect little thing in my memory.
Can you imagine if they tried to replace Zayn?
That would not have gone over well.
So I think you're right, though. I think it's like if you start out as a solo artist, you know, I think that's fine. Like we look at like, you know, Billie Eilish, Lorde, you know, people like that. I think it's fine. And you can do great things like that. But I think if you start out in a band, I think the clock has to start ticking at some point. I think the end goal
Yeah.
should be to break up, because you can use this band. I mean, and One
Like,
Direction.
wrap it up.
One Direction is a perfect example, and I think their timeline was perfect too. Like, yeah, I was devastated when they, quote unquote, went on hiatus, but broke up. I was devastated when that happened, but like, looking back, I think it's probably one of the best things that could have happened, because they took over the world. Yeah. All 5 of them got this insane amount of publicity, and like, it wasn't good for their privacy, but in terms of their careers, like, everyone knew who they were. You mostly like Harry and Zayn, but like, people still knew who they were. And then all 5 of them have started solo careers to various levels of success. Looking at you, Liam Payne, Mr. I outsold all the rest of them. Bullshit. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, and it has worked so well for Harry specifically. I mean, Niall has also done really well. Zayn's done pretty well. Louis and Liam not so much. But
nobody else is on, like, because
no one's on Harry's level.
Harry Styles has, like, Harry fans who are not One Direction fans. Yep. They are like Harry Styles fans, right? And I just think it's like that maybe exists for like Zayn, but I think it's a great.
I don't know. I think it's a great mod. I feel bad that their privacy got so thoroughly rocked, especially like the one example that I always think of. And for those of you listening who are not in the trenches with Carolyn and I, there was a time.
Oh, God.
I mean, first of all, One Direction fans walked so that K-pop stans could run in terms of violating privacy and breaking every law, especially cybersecurity laws. But I remember this one specific time, Directioners hacked TSA security just to like look through one of the one of the security cameras in the airport, just to watch the boys sit and like wait for their plane. It was insane. And I think at that point, that's when I knew. I was like, oh shit, these girls are like
unconscionable behavior
and dangerous.
And I definitely like participated in not to that level at all. Like, I wasn't doing weird shit, but like reblogging posts that had like pictures of their childhood houses on it.
Oh, and,
like lists of exactly what hospital they were born in.
The names
like,
of all their family members.
I did not need to know that about strangers. Yeah, like.
Do you know? I think I still follow their stylist on Instagram, Lou Teasdale, and their daughter, who, by the way, is like
Lux,
who is like a full-grown adult now. I mean, not really. She's like in her preteens, but it's really weird.
I remember when she was born.
But yeah, also that and that's why I haven't unfollowed, because it's like, I don't know. It's like a fun, like, memory. I don't know. And I've never been one of those people who was like, in terms of internet fan culture, I'm never the one that does anything. And maybe this is like not better, but it's like, I'm not going to.
But I'm definitely participating.
I'm not going to put this out into the universe, but if it's in front of my face, I'm going to engage with it. I mean, like, same thing with like celebrity nudes or whatever. It's like, yeah, that sucks that these people's like private pictures leaked, but like, if it's there, I'm curious. Like, I want to see.
I get it. I also try not to do that, but I get it.
So I want to talk about our 9/11, which I think we actually did talk about on this podcast.
Where were you?
But
where were you?
Just briefly.
We were both in class.
I was in class, but it was like
because
weird.
We're in the United States.
It was but I wasn't like in a traditional class. I wasn't doing an independent study or anything, and I actually don't remember the context of this at all. But I remember I was technically in a class period, but I was in the library by myself, which is what I was doing for like a span of time. Maybe it was like a senior project thing. I don't know. But I was just like in the library, and my teacher had been in there, like just coming in and out. And then I found out about it, and I like actually could not do any more work. I was like, actually, I have to go home right now. And she was like, what's going on? And I was like, Zayn just left. And she was like, who's Zayn? What's going on? Are you okay? What's going on? I was like, no, I'm not fucking okay. Zayn Malik just left One fucking Direction. It is 5 boys, and now there's only 4 of them. Zayn just left. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I can't fucking talk about what Siddhartha or whatever the fuck that we were doing, Scarlet Letter bullshit. Like, this is insane. Are you kidding? It's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Please. Yeah, I was also in class, of course, and I remember like having bad signal on my phone in that room, and I like either got a text or saw a tweet, because this was junior year of high school or senior year of high
Senior
school.
year.
So we had social medias on the phones now. And I remember, either one of those. And I had enough like service to see that, but not enough service to like tell anybody about it. So I was just like in class, like suffering. Didn't have any friends in that class. Nobody would understand. Finally, I get out. I text my sister, of all people, because she didn't give a fuck. But I was like, you'll never guess what happened.
I fully left school. I really did. To mourn because I told my teacher, I was like, I can't even give you words. Like, I know that I'm in English class and you're an English teacher. I cannot give you words. And she was like, listen, because she was one of the cool teachers. She was my, like, I was the gay one. She was the English teacher. She would, we had that. And,
our English teacher was the GSA sponsor.
She eventually was too, and then she came out to us later as bisexual because we were in this like elite club together. It's a long story. But she was like, "Okay, like, do you need to go home?" I was like, "Is that like, can I?" And she was like, "Sure."
You're fucking wild.
So I did, and I just drove around and listened to their songs and fucking cried. I was like, "Nothing's ever gonna be the same." I listened to Spaces.
So at that point, I was like 1 foot out the door. Like, I did not give a fuck anymore. I did not care about them. And then that happened, and I was just like so sad that I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I can't. It's officially, I have to move on. Like, we need to start the mourning process.
I held out. However, I did like that was the point that I knew that they were in their twilight years, because I was like, okay,
not their twilight years.
I was like, it's not gonna be, the 5 of them anymore. OT5, it's like, it's changed. They're not going to be able to sustain that. Like, things are gonna, so I was like I was still holding on. I was still fully in the fandom, but I did kind of start to mentally prepare myself for the end, so that by the time that they did, go on a break, I wanted to like mourn that too, but I was like, yeah, like, I know.
So what were some of the most embarrassing things you did in public regarding One Direction? Because I have a fucking couple. Also, oh my god, I am swearing like a sailor today. I am so worked up.
You're moved. It's okay.
I am so moved.
I actually did not do, and this is one of my biggest regrets, but like, aside from just like listening to them really loud with the windows down when I was like, driving through Main Street or whatever, I really didn't do anything super embarrassing in public in terms of being like a One Direction fan, because like, I was still mostly closeted, and I don't know, like, my friend who I had indoctrinated, it was a safe space in my car, and so we would talk about, things and like dreams and things like that, things that we've seen on Tumblr, but I didn't actually like act a fool. And my biggest regret, I was so, and this is complex, there are layers, but like, I was so afraid to come out that I never got to see them live, because I was like, okay, if I show interest in going to a One Direction concert, that's effectively outing myself. I can't do that. And so I had to content myself with like watching videos, watching the GIFs that would pop up on Tumblr. And eventually at one point, my mom got me, I don't even know where it is now, but she got me the Up All Night concert DVD, which I used to watch like a fucking madman, and live vicariously through it as if I was at the concert, because I never got to see that. However, if they, for whatever reason,
please,
if they ever
please focus.
do a reunion tour, I am buying tickets immediately. I don't care if it's $1,000 fucking dollars. I'm fucking doing that, and I'm gonna live like I'm 15 goddamn years old again. I'm gonna scream until I don't have a voice. I'm gonna shave my whole body. I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna just like go out, because I never did when I was young. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I didn't do anything embarrassing.
Okay, so the second most embarrassing thing I did in public is I left church camp in the middle of church camp to go see the Up All Night tour.
That is absolutely not embarrassing.
Camp.
That is commendable, and you were correct. You should have done that. I can't think of a better way for that to have gone. That's not embarrassing. What are you talking about?
The first most embarrassing thing I did, which is like also one of my favorite memories of me just being a cringy 14-year-old, was freshman year of high school on my birthday. One of my friends made me a shirt with iron-on letters.
Yes. Yes.
And on the front, it said Mrs. Harry Styles. And on the back, it said "Vasap."
No!
And I wore it. I immediately went to the bathroom and changed and wore that shirt. And I wore it multiple times.
You wore it in public?
Still have it. At school, Max.
Not at school. Not at school.
She gave it to me in the morning. I changed my shirt. The whole school, like, I wore it to school multiple times.
Oh my god.
And then, not to mention, like, my Stan Twitter, like, I would let my real friends follow, like, my real life friends follow me. Not only that, but, like, yeah, but, like, people I wasn't even, like, that close to. Like, my, like, band friends and stuff. Like, oh, yeah. I had, like, no modesty, no filter, no nothing.
You know, I probably would have done that, too, if I wasn't so afraid of being outed. But, like...
Right.
Oof. Okay, so I'll tell you the most embarrassing thing that I did in private, which actually rolls into the next thing that I want to talk about. There's this thing that existed within the One Direction fandom that was really a pillar of the community. And
oh my god, I know what you're about to say.
I have 2 words to say to you.
Oh god.
I have 2 words.
Oh god.
Room 317.
Spare me. Oh wait, that's not what I thought you were gonna say, actually.
What did you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were...
The video diary?
I thought you were... No! You said a pillar of the community. I thought you were gonna say Larry Stylinson.
Well, effectively this. Have you read Room 317? Actually, no, you definitely did.
Yes, Max,
you asked me one time, you were like, have you ever heard of Room 317? I was like, bitch.
Yes, I definitely read it. But no, I straight up thought you were going to... Okay,
so allow me to give a synopsis.
Deal, but like, oh god.
Allow me to give a synopsis. So...
Actually, please don't.
It'll be brief. It'll be brief. So...
Please, spare me.
I'm sure... most of the people that are listening to this, if there is anyone who's still here, I'm sure they're familiar with Larry Stylinson. That was the toxic number 1 ship of the fandom, which I wholeheartedly shipped, where everyone shipped Harry and Louis together because of various clips of them from video diaries or the way that they would quote unquote, act during concerts together. People started to read a lot
Men
into
being
it.
friends. Imagine
them
that.
being friends and physically touching each other. Everyone was like, okay, not only are they fucking, they're soulmates.
They're married. They're hiding their entire private life.
It was a whole thing, and it actually like ruined their private lives. And like I will admit, there was some
thoroughly inappropriate.
There was some like compelling points made, but nothing was ever proven because nothing was ever happening. And I'm sorry to the 15-year-old me, it was not real, and it was a huge violation of privacy and very problematic. But
right, like here's the thing though, they still exist because I'll come across them on Twitter and they're like new One Direction fans who are like 15ish now, and they're like I came across this one account and she kept her tweets were always like, you guys, if we want people to believe us, we have to behave, blah blah blah. We have such a bad reputation because of blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But like they're still fully on the boat.
Well, I will say this was also like, I mean, people shipped, every member with every member, and none of them ever got as bad as Larry Stylinson. And I think a part of that is because there was a lot of and this may be incorrect and this may be bold, but I think there was a lot of internalized homophobia that people had, and so they were looking at Louis, who they thought was like acting stereotypically gay because he was more effeminate than the rest of them, and so they were like, okay, this is step 1, he's the gay one. And then they were like, okay, he and Harry are being very physically close with each other, there must be something going on there. And then the brain looks for patterns. We are primates. We started to go through every single video, every single photo, every single everything that could be found to find these things to confirm our theories. It was confirmation bias. And it got so out of
Insane
hand
behavior.
that it ruined their relationship with each other to a point where while the band was still together, anytime there was a group photo, they would keep Harry and Louis separate. They would not let Harry and Louis do things together. It was just absolutely so
It was
insane.
very bad.
It was like, I know
And I
that they're
can't even think
superstars,
of,
but
like,
this ruined their lives and their friendships with each other. Like, I think that they're, still on
Yeah.
okay terms and everything, but it's like, I mean, could you imagine?
But imagine that millions of people are like, you and your presumably close friend like must be fucking, and I'm gonna write filthy fan fiction and fan art
Literally
about it,
thousands.
and like tag your real life families.
Thousands of pictures
Yeah.
and videos that not video. Well, I mean, there were videos, but like thousands of pictures, videos, fan fictions that fans had created in explicit detail, exploiting every part of their friendship with each other, and like you said, tagging their friends and family members that these people had sleuthed out, violating just absolutely every inch of privacy that these people had. Like, it made everyone so uncomfortable that it physically changed how the band worked. And it's anyway.
I just want to say, have you ever heard that story of apparently some teen at DragCon years ago went to a Trixie and Katya panel and read like
Yeah, they've talked about it.
explicit fan fiction
Yeah.
to them, like in front of God and everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
And I would not be surprised.
on some level, it's comforting that that level of insanity still exists in the teens, but also like has gotten so much worse.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people did that at, meet and greets for One Direction. And like, could you imagine being in that room? But all of this is to say, Room 317 was one of two.
Oh God.
It was one of two of the like big fan fictions in the fandom. The other one was
Right.
what was it? After, which eventually
got
turned into
dark.
Dark. That's what it was, and it got turned into this. It's like a
Movie.
5-film franchise. Did you know that? They full on
No, because
50 Shades of Grey that motherfucker. Yeah. Anyway, so that was the one that I never got into because A, it was heterosexual, and B, I think it was like Harry X the Reader or something. Like, it was, I don't know. I was not into it.
I don't remember.
But Room 317, it was gay. They had, it was Harry and Louis, that was the primary ship, and then the secondary ship was Niall and Liam, which I always thought was cute. I got into. And it was pretty long. It's like a novel-length fan fiction. The grammar's fine. It's not like poorly written or anything, because there's a lot of like just fucking, I'm just gonna key smash this fucking keyboard and call it a fan fiction and upload it to Wattpad.com. But
Okay.
the premise of it is the boys are at a concert and Louis gets sick and has to go to the hospital. It turns into some kind of sepsis infection or something, and he stays in room 317. He almost dies. It's whatever. He has to recover and be out of the band for a little while, and so they go on and do things. And then he and Harry are about to confess their love for each other, but then he gets this opportunity. Louis gets this opportunity to like go to this physical therapy thing, so he goes to that for like a couple months or something like that. And then when he comes back, he finds out all the other boys have been in this really bad car accident, and two of them are in emergency care. One of them is Harry and one of them is Liam. He thinks that because the way the universe works, that Harry is going to be in room 317 at the same hospital, but he's not. Liam is in room 317 at the same hospital. Harry, I think, was in like room 319 or something like that. And it's very much a slow burn. Eventually they do get together, but then and they like get into adulthood, the band stops, they have kids, whatever. But then at the end, Liam commits suicide. I think Zayn survives. And then the very end of it is like this epilogue of like Harry and Louis on a beach right before they're about to die, and then I think one of them does that. I don't know. It's crazy. It's a lot. I have only read it, I think, like 2 or 3 times. Once when it first came out, once maybe like a year or 2 later, and then I think once I tried to read it like towards the end of the thing, but I was like, this is a lot. But anyway, how did Room 317 affect you?
Clearly not as much as it affected you, because you said you were going to do a quick synopsis and completely explain the plot.
That was quick.
Literally Okay. Literally the only thing I remembered about it was like Louis was dying in the hospital, and I just read it on Tumblr and remember it being really good and really sad, and then didn't really engage with it
I mean,
afterwards at all.
to its credit, aside from the fact that it
I was
was,
never really a fan fiction person though.
oh, I was. I read a lot of fan fiction. It started with Harry Potter, and then once I got into the One Direction fandom, it was pretty much solely that. But it was like, aside from the problematic part of it being a Larry Stylinson thing, and describing sex in some pretty explicit detail, it was well written. I mean, it could, like, if it was not about One Direction specifically, it could get published as, like a Nicholas Sparks book or something like that. Like, it's, but it had such an effect on people, like, uh,
Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, like, the thing is, like, the fact that I like did not care about fan fiction, but I read that one and remember that one, and like I feel like a lot of people have a similar experience because that's the thing. It was just I just remember it being very well written, and like
it was
that wasn't always the case.
probably one of the best written, at least that I read, but probably one of the best written fan fictions that came out of the fandom. And it was another one of those things too, where it was just like, it was part of the community. Like, everybody had read it, everybody had opinions on it. There were inside jokes that came out of it, and it was just something where, like, if you read it, it made you feel like a better part of, like, like more like you belonged, like
It
the
was
video
like
diaries.
when you were a middle school girl. It was like when you were a middle school girl and every single girl had a copy of Twilight on their desk at the same time.
Excuse you,
It's like
I
that.
was one of those middle school girls who also had a copy of Twilight. I just was not a girl. But
Okay, this is about the girls.
I so that's another thing too, and like, not I don't know if it is trauma, but I remember when I was in like middle and high school, I wanted to be one of the girls so bad. Like, I never thought I was trans or anything, but I just wanted to be part of the girls because, like, they could outwardly love Twilight, they could outwardly love One Direction, they
Yeah,
could, be so open with it. And so for me, as
yeah,
much as I loved One Direction and as much as a safe space as it was for me when I was like in my bedroom on Tumblr, at the same time it was a little bit like, there was a little bit of pain that was there because I was like, I can't, like, this all has to be a secret. I have to, keep it all on the
yeah.
inside, and it sucked. But um anyway.
Well, at least you weren't me and have multiple people in real life who remember this phase and bring it up constantly.
True, but I could have been. If I was a little bit braver, or if my hometown was a little bit less shitty, I would have been. And probably I would have been worse. Because I think out of the two of us, I think you're a lot better at keeping your cool. I would not.
But you, not to get too deep, but you have only known me post nervous breakdown. I used to be real bad. Like, just socially, just fucking, like, I can't explain it, just weird. But that's the thing about One Direction is, like, I did not care about the music as much. Like, I did not care about them as much. It was more because, like, for one thing, my entire friend group, which, like, are still my best friends to this day, like, that was what we had in common. But also, like, in the Twitterverse, I felt like, a part of something. It was, like, mostly social for me. And, like, you know, that's how I got connected with people. Like, Orion Carlotto used to be one of the girls. There was one of the Fifth Harmony girls used to be one of us.
Oh yeah, I think it was
like people who
Mila,
are now
wasn't it?
like I don't remember. But like people who are now like doctors and lawyers. Like I still follow some of them on social media, like their personal accounts, and it's just kind of nice to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I know all you people from like across the world because of this one random phase we had in common.
It was unifying. I mean, for me, well, first of all, it was like a running joke, especially in the early days of the fandom when it was pretty much just Up All Night. It was a running joke that, like, you weren't really in it for the music, and that was just kind of like a prerequisite, but then you were into it because of
Right.
the boys. But then
Stop saying the boys.
but then the music got a little better, and like I said at the beginning of the episode, I loved and hated the music equally, but like I wasn't just in it for the music, but I also wasn't just in it for the social aspect. The social aspect was very important for me though, because that was when I was starting to find an online community. And I don't really keep up with anyone that I like, was a mutual with back in the day, but like it was a time when I was like, my day-to-day life not that great. I'm in a small conservative town. I'm closeted gay. Like, the actual day to day is not that great. But then I get to go home and I get to get on Tumblr or whatever, and just interact with all these people who share the same interests that I do, where I don't have to feel weird about liking this band or liking
Yeah.
these boys. I can just really go out with it, and it was
like,
yeah.
yeah, Tumblr was perfect, and I guess Twitter in that way too, because you could be like anonymous, like just in that like people you knew in real life, it wasn't like expected for you to follow them. I do actually miss though when like everybody used to be on Twitter in like 2012, and like I just remember like everybody in our high school was on Twitter, and so Twitter was just about like things that were happening in our high school, and it just felt so fun. It was a social media, and like it was fun when people use social media like that. Honestly, I want people to tell their business on the internet more often. But
well, I think I told you about this. When Yik Yak hit the scene, it was right after I left high school. I was a freshman in college when Yik Yak first hit the scene. But I was friends with a couple people that were seniors in not my high school, but one of the high schools in my hometown. And it was the smallest high school, but it was also like the most central, and it was where most of like the county-wide popular people were. And there was this one incident with Yik Yak, and I do think I talked about it on the pod, but like they just started dragging people by name. And so it's like on the one hand, it's cool if like I think if everyone is like on this platform together and you all know each other, but on the other hand, it gets kind of rough.
Well, Yik Yak was completely anonymous.
Yeah.
So like people really
They
could
went
say
hard.
like whatever they wanted.
And they did.
Yeah. Which obviously like it's very hard to be truly anonymous on the internet.
Well, now,
but,
like a lot of people back then didn't know how to like dox somebody or like find all that. I mean, no, people did.
No.
People did, but it was not as widespread.
People did not know how to protect themselves. Yeah, no. We did not have like privacy literacy.
Yeah.
At the time,
no,
like
it's
people
grown
used
a
to
lot now.
share way too much information, and honest to God, people still do, because why are you putting your newborn baby's entire first, middle, last name, birth date, birth location on the internet? Do you know how easy it is to dox somebody? It is so easy to dox somebody.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I just like I witnessed this happen in real time once. Like I witnessed a doxing happened and like how they found this person, and so now I am very sensitive.
Well, I think
to that sort of thing. But no, I feel like people used to be way worse about like you didn't have a private account, like anybody could see your account, like private accounts weren't really a thing. Just like all sorts, letting strangers follow you.
Well, what I think we need to
accounts follow
look at is how things have progressed from the beginning of social media, which I look at as being like MySpace, right? How things have progressed from MySpace to now in terms of cybersecurity and the privacy of your information. The way that the internet has changed has been exponential. Think about the way that it's going to continue to change into the future. Is that a gamble that you want to take? Like, I get that you're excited about your baby being born. I get that you want to share your new full name now that you're married and like where you got married or, things like that. And I don't necessarily have a problem with like geotagging or whatever, but just like think about what this means in the future. Like, imagine the most.
I mostly get concerned with people doing it to their children because like.
Well, they can't consent.
Your children don't know the implications of like having your picture all over the internet.
Like
adults. Stop posting about your children.
You can post
there are really
one
fucking scary people out there.
You can post one newborn baby picture and you can post maybe one or two Christmas pictures when they're little children, but then it has to be radio silence because like if you see just a picture of a baby compared to a picture of an adult, you're not going to draw those lines unless someone tells you that they're the same person, But like after that, you got to keep that shit on lock. You got to keep them up in their room.
Well, so also
tower.
like
that's Rapunzel. They get their privacy.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into like my thoughts on momfluencers and how they should be in jail. We can talk about it another time because frankly this is not relevant anymore. But do you have any final thoughts on One Direction or your time as a directioner?
I did have one final thing that I thought would be kind of fun.
Oh God.
I think we should. I have pulled up this little thing called the Ultimate 25 Question One Direction Quiz. And I think it would be fun if we do this together.
Okay.
All right.
I might not do too well.
I also might not do too well. It's been a long time. When I was in the trenches, I could identify them by their shoes. I knew their middle names, the times they were born, where they were born. Now, not so much. So,
okay, we got to keep it quick though because we have talked about this for over an hour. So we got
as we should. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Which member of One Direction came up with the name? The options are Liam Payne, Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, or Zayn Malik.
I don't know, Liam.
It is Liam, I believe. I don't think this is going to tell me if it's correct until the end, but I think I remember that it's Liam. Who had the most solos on their debut album Up All Night? Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, or Liam Payne? Zayn isn't even an option, but that means it's between Liam or Harry. Because, think about it though.
It's Harry.
Liam started just about
No,
every song.
it's Liam. It's Liam. It's Liam.
Yeah.
It's Liam again.
I think so too. It highlights it in yellow, so I can't tell if that's correct or not. Who had the least solos on their debut album? This is going to be either Niall or Louis because they got virtually no.
Let Niall sing!
I think it was Niall, though.
Let Niall sing!
Which, by the way, his solo stuff is pretty good.
No, I think it might be. I think
it's Niall.
I think it might be Louis for this question.
I think it's Niall, though. I was listening to a song in the shower. He had 1/4 of one verse in one of these songs where it was literally like 2 or 3 lines.
I think it's Louis.
You think it's Louis? I think it's Niall. I clicked Niall, but we'll see what happens. When did the band go on an extended break to concentrate on their solo careers? 2015, 2016, 2017, or 2018?
No. Hold on, let me think. Okay, so I was a freshman in high school.
I think it's
2014.
No, they definitely made it to 26 or 15, but I think it's 2016.
Wait, no, you're right. It was the spring of 2015.
Yeah.
It was the spring of 2015.
Oh my God, I just realized the memory that I had of me talking to my teacher about Zayn leaving was not about Zayn leaving. It was about them breaking up. So yeah, that was spring 2015.
Wait. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. On which talent show did the members meet? X Factor. Come on.
Okay.
What was the first song they sang in the judge's house? Now, you watched them on X Factor, right? I never did.
Oh, it was Torn. It was Torn by Natalie Imbruglia.
My God, Torn. Oh my God, the way that makes me feel sometimes. Okay. Okay, what was the title of One Direction's debut single? What Makes You Beautiful?
Oh, please.
How many albums have they released? We just talked about this. 5.
I might not have gotten this right a minute ago. Although subjective.
What was the title of their 4th album released in 2014? Now, we do have some options here. We've got the Roman numeral 4. We've got the word 4. We've got the word 4 as in like the golf term FORE with an exclamation point, and then we have the word 4 FOR.
It's 4 spelled out.
Yes.
No,
it
right?
Is, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I could see people going for the Roman numeral one because I could see them doing
Yeah,
that.
for a second I thought it could have been, but whatever.
What is the title of their most recent studio album? I don't know if I'd call it recent anymore since it's been 7 years.
Yeah. Their last studio album.
Oh my God. So
wait.
Let me read the options.
Made after midnight.
Let me read the options. We've got One
Made
Direction.
in the AM.
Made in the AM. Adios.
That's the one.
And then Greatest Misses, which I think is such a read.
The Ramones' last album was called Adios Amigos.
I think it's fine to do a farewell album. I think they should have just been upfront about it, but whatever. It was Made in the AM. What was the title of their documentary released in 2013? One Direction, This Is Us. One Direction, Which Way?
I saw this in theaters.
Some Kind of Monster, or One Direction, No Direction Home.
It's One Direction, This Is Us because I saw it in a movie theater.
Um,
Which is so embarrassing.
Oh.
Oh God.
This is kind of problematic that this is a question on here, but what was Louis Tomlinson's
Oh
name
God.
when he was born? We have some options. Louis Keith Tomlinson, Louis Troy Austin, Louis Timothy Tomlinson, or my favorite, Louis Romlinson Tomlinson.
That's stupid.
I know.
I honestly don't know. I'm gonna guess Timothy.
That's the one I'm going to go with as well. What the fuck? Okay. Which member of the group was signed to Doncaster Rovers? This is pretty obvious. Harry Styles, Liam Payne, Louis Tomlinson, or Niall Horan. This is obvious if you knew like where they were from.
Oh wait, what's it called?
The Doncaster Rovers.
Doncaster. Oh well,
Louis.
okay, Louis.
Yeah.
Never mind. I thought I thought you were saying a person's name. Don is the first name, and Castor is the second name.
I'm trying to think.
Okay,
I
sorry,
actually don't know if I remember where they're all from now. I know that Harry's from Cheshire.
No, that I
and
do
Louis
remember.
is from Doncaster. Hang on, don't tell me. Niall is from obviously Ireland, but fuck, what was the town? Do you remember where Niall was from? I don't remember.
I don't remember where he's from. I remember Liam is from Wolverhampton. And Zane is from Bradford.
The Bradford bad boy. Sorry.
That's the one.
Oh, God love him. What is Harry Styles' birthday? February 1st, 94, March 14th, 94, August 11th, 94, or November 24th, 94?
The first one.
February 1st. He's an Aquarius. Do you remember all their birthdays?
No, but I remember that one, and I remember Louis was born on Christmas Eve, and I remember Harry Styles because I used to celebrate it.
Woof. Louis, yeah, it was Christmas Eve. Niall and Liam are both Virgos, but Liam, I think, is August 24th, and Niall is September 13th, and then Zane is also an Aquarius. No, Zane's a Capricorn. He was January 12th, I think. Listeners, let us know in the comments below if we're correct.
Oh, please.
Sound
off.
Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Which member quit the group on March 25th, 2015?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, so
fuck
then
you,
I guess they did
you.
last till 2016. Or maybe it was the end of 2015. No, but I was right then about when Zayn left, me being in the library. But we know who that is. Which member of One Direction has had a child with the Geordie pop star Cheryl? Harry, Liam, Niall,
Liam, and she was on their judging panel on America's Got Talent.
Yeah. Also, we didn't talk
Isn't that
about
wild?
it.
He was 17.
We didn't talk about it when we were talking about Larry Stylinson, but the conspiracy theory about Louis' fake baby, unhinged.
Yeah, I never knew anything about that.
It's really interesting. He posted a very vague picture of his baby's foot, and because he's been respecting baby privacy in terms of the internet. He's been doing that. But people literally pulled up a picture of a baby doll and were like, this is a baby doll's foot. It's the exact same. The freckle is the same, blah, blah, blah. And because they shipped Larry so hard and could not see any other option, they were like, this baby's fake. And I bought into it for a little bit, but...
Wait, okay. They thought he was posting, a doll.
They thought he was posting a doll because...
A fake baby,
They thought, because the... Larry shippers were so far gone, they thought it was this huge conspiracy cooked up by Simon Cowell and whatever their management company was to keep Larry Stylinson a secret, and that they were still held to that legal obligation, and so they thought the baby was forced to try to bring attention away. And not even that long ago, even back in 2017, 2018, people were like, we still haven't seen pictures of the baby. It's obviously fake. Y'all, he's keeping pictures of his baby private because that's his child. Whether or not the child is real, that's not a problem. I'm
just now realizing how last episode we recorded, I talked about all the conspiracy theories that I get really into. And so maybe it's not my place to judge these people.
I mean, I bought into it.
Unhinged because it's a real person.
I bought into it. Yeah. It's only been the past couple of years that I, distancing myself so much from One Direction and seeing the perils of putting yourself out there on the internet and how fandom culture can be harmful, that I've been I used to engage in some really not good shit, but whatever. It was a sacred time for me and I won't apologize. Which member of the group was born in Ireland?
Oh my
Blue
God.
Hydrangea.
Don't piss me off.
Which song
Fuck.
has not been recorded by the group? Live While We're Young, Sugar We're Going Down, Best Song Ever, and Drag Me Down. Could you imagine?
Wow.
One Direction has received how many Brit Awards? Now, this one I actually don't know, but the options are 5, 7, 9,
I remember
and 11.
when they won their first one.
I kind of remember.
5, 7, 9, 11. I don't. I actually don't know the answer, but I do remember when they won the first
I'm
one.
going to go with 7 because it's a magic number, but we'll see.
Okay.
One Direction has won how many Teen Choice Awards from 31 nominations?
I don't know.
We've got 8, 15, 28, and 29.
Not the faintest.
28 and 29 are a lot. I'm going to say 15 just because of how rabid everyone was, even though I think it might actually be 8, but I'm going to go with 15. Oh, here we go. What was the B side of What Makes You Beautiful? Ha ha ha, glub glub glub, ple ple ple, or na na na?
It's like na na na,
and then we're like
yeah.
Strange. Which member was an actor before he became a singer? We've got Liam, Louis, Harry, and Niall. I don't remember encountering this bit of trivia at all.
Yeah, I don't know that I know this.
I know that Harry worked in a bakery. And I know that
maybe Louis.
I think it was Louis, but I think they're using the term actor really loosely because I don't think he really did professional work. I think it was just like
probably
high
did
school
theater, like community theater. Yeah.
Because Liam wanted to be the next Justin Bieber. He auditioned as a solo act for the X Factor first.
Yes.
Oh my God, do you remember when they were on iCarly? I freaked out.
Vaguely.
What was the band's best-selling book called? The book that I have. I just don't know where it is. Several Directions, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying About Love and the X Factor. Love that title. Every Which Way But Loose, The One Direction Chronicles. Not Loose. What's a Map? The One Direction Story. Or Dare to Dream, Life is One Direction.
Oh, that's the one.
It was Dare to Dream, yeah.
That's the one.
Oh God. This was a bit of trivia that I definitely encountered. I just don't remember. How many tattoos do the members of One Direction have combined?
I don't know.
Okay, but I'm going to read you the options and you're going to know which one is correct. Over 4,000, over 6,000, 3, and between 100 and 102.
It's got to be the 100.
Exactly.
What is this? Is this a psyop?
Those are buck wild. Harry Styles, this is the last one. Harry Styles likes to rub parsnips on his feet because he believes it makes him run faster. True or false? He's an Aquarius, so I'm going to say true.
Does that man run? I don't know. I guess.
I do have to express a little bit of disappointment in this. I was hoping for some of the OG bits of trivia, like who likes carrots? Who's afraid of spoons? How many nipples does Harry have?
Okay, well.
I was hoping for that shit. I think
this was fun.
I think we might be fake fans though, because we got 18 out of 25 correct.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad for one person at least who is not like engaged in a while. Like, that's not bad.
Apparently, this straight up cannot be true. Apparently, so I'm looking back now at the answers. Apparently combined they have over 4,000, but I guess they're counting like every single little tattoo of Harry and Zayn's and Louis because they've got the most. I still think Niall has 0.
Got small ones.
What else did we get wrong? They got 28 Teen Choice Awards. They did get 7 Brit Awards. We did get most of them right. It's Louis Troy Austin. That's how he was born.
Louis Troy Austin?
Not Louis Timothy Tomlinson. I don't remember ever hearing that.
Doesn't sound familiar.
The band went on an extended break in 2016. Yeah, because I guess Zayn left in 2015. You were right. It was Harry who had the most solos on Up All Night, not Liam.
I'm a real fan.
Harry came up with the name, not Liam. And final question before we do our sign off stuff. Even though I think this is obvious, who was your favorite member, and did that ever change?
Oh, no, it never changed. I'm a Harry girl.
Harry girl
Although
to the end.
when Liam had long curly hair.
Oh yeah.
I could have considered, and then also when I was like, Zayn was a close second. Like, I was very much also a Zayn girl, especially with the blonde streak. Also, God. Shout out India on this season of Love Island. I love somebody with a blonde streak. Yeah, no, I'm a Harry girl through and through.
I started, and still to this day, am a Niall girl. Don't ask me why. It was a very unpopular choice, but I reveled in that.
I liked Niall before he got his teeth fixed.
Yes, I did love his OG teeth. I was really there. Of course, I'm a Harry girl now because Harry's solo stuff is great, and I've always liked Harry. He just, when the band was there, it wasn't like he wasn't my primary. And then Zayn was always an interest of mine. Liam, I only entertained the idea of when he had the curly hair and then he shaved it, and I was like, this man is dead to me. And
yeah, exactly.
Louis, I only loved by proxy. Let me not say that. I always have enjoyed like Louis's energy, and I think he has a really pretty voice. But I was never a Louis girl, and I only was like a stan of his by proxy because of Larry Stylinson and because he was in One Direction. But like, I don't think I've listened to a single one of his solo songs, and I've listened to all of their solo stuff except for Liam because he doesn't have solo stuff, even though he thinks that he's outsold everybody with his solo career. On the Logan Paul podcast, he said that.
I have only listened to Harry Styles songs, and even then I don't know that I've listened to any of his albums all the way through.
His albums are good. They all have a different feel.
I did go see him in concert, and he was very underwhelming when I saw him, so I'm a little bit bitter. But you know,
you've low-key turned into a Harry hater. You like don't listen to his stuff. You don't like his outfits. I'm into all of it.
Did you not listen to me when I told you that my entire experience was in this like anti-fan state? Like that was the entire basis of my relationship with them. Like, I hate that I love you. Like,
no, I was unabashed. I was unironic. I don't know
why you're surprised.
I used to like when I was going to sleep, ironic. I used to imagine that like, I was like
it was
part of them and with them. It was bad.
Oh God.
Let me not be vulnerable. Okay. So, do you have any little victories of the week?
I went out to like lunch with my coworkers and had a very fun time. And we talked about how much we love the company we work for and feel very supported in our jobs. So it was a very positive experience. And I feel like normally when you hang out with coworkers, you're like talking shit, but all of us were just like, this is a really great experience. So that was a victory for me.
Nice. I got a not bad but pretty intense sunburn this past week, which was more or less intentional. I did want to get sun, and I didn't really put as much sunscreen on, but I thought that I had stayed out the right amount of time. Turns out I didn't, and I got pretty fried. But I moisturized like a monster. Shout out to Banana Boat Aloe Lotion. This is not an ad, but I would love it if they give me money because I love that shit. It smells so good. And so I actually have a tan now, a little bit of one, which is cool.
Strawberry jelly. Tastes so good.
So that's my victory. And then lastly, what are you into?
Motherfucking Love Island.
You can't have the same one every week. It can't be Love Island
yes,
every
I
week.
Can! Well, okay, here's the thing. This season, like, was fire for like half of it, and then after Casa, it got like really monotonous and like produced and just like
seems pretty divisive.
But like,
according to your tweets,
though this one couple, Ekin-Su and Davide, I love them. Davide, I mean, he's fine. I don't really care about him. He's like nice, I guess. Ekin-Su is like, for one thing, like the best reality TV character since New York. For another thing, she is so beautiful. Like, she is one of the most beautiful women I have ever seen in my entire life. And then she's also just like charming. She is so supportive, like, of all the other girls' relationships. Like, she's never in the drama, even though the girls are constantly talking shit about her behind her back. She is never doing the same. I just love her so much. I want her to win. I don't know that she's going to. And this is the worst part, is that I can't vote because you can only vote if you're in the UK. Yeah. So, anyway, if you're in the UK and listening to this, please vote for Ekin-Su and Davide. I swear to God, I will pay you to do so.
This is your call to action.
But I'm into that. I'm also into... my friend introduced me to American Horror Stories. Plural. Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I always just assumed it was part of the same thing. Is it not?
So it's weird. It's like it's a different show, but it's still Ryan Murphy and everybody, and still some of the same characters.
It's the same universe.
It takes place in the Murder House universe, but it's like new characters pretty much every episode, and sometimes the episodes don't even have to do with the Murder House at all. It's like a completely standalone horror story. But it honestly makes it kind of cool. Like, there's no continuity at all. It's like camp. There's no, like, actual plot value. It's mostly kind of like, let's put as many references to the show as we can. But it was also, like, reminded me why I used to love American Horror Story. Just those, like, I don't know, that kind of, like, melodramatic, campy horror that's still, like, scary enough, you know, but not, like...
Well,
not like trying too hard. I don't know. I just love campy horror.
If you like campy horror, especially in like a easy watching, non-continuity way, there's a show on Netflix that I watched a little while back called 2-Sentence Horror Stories. It's a pretty easy watch. The episodes are, I think, like 30 minutes.
Based on the Reddit thread?
Kind of, sort of. But, I mean, the episodes are fun. They're like these little 30-minute things where there's like a small little... a teeny tiny little horror plot happening, and then at the end there's the 2 sentences are revealed. Just if you're in the need of something to watch. Hello,
Are they
Dorothy.
based off like actual off the actual 2-sentence horror stories? Because I mean, some of them are like...
I was never in the thread, so I don't know, but I would assume so. But I mean, it's not like poorly done. Like it's a well done show.
Okay, maybe I will consider watching an episode.
I mean, you can get through the whole thing in like 2 hours. It's super fast.
All right. What are you into?
What I'm into this week, I have rediscovered a band that I listened to a lot in high school, which is now no longer together, but they were always like a very small little band, and I actually did get to see them one time in Asheville with a couple friends. They're called Elephant Revival. Have you ever heard of them? Mm-hmm. They've got some really good stuff. It's very bluegrassy, but I love their work. I listened to their whole discography the other day, and actually the same...
Oh my god, I forgot!
What?
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Go
ahead.
The same English teacher that let me go home after Zayn left One Direction, she knew that I was really into this band, and I don't know why she did this except that she's just fucking awesome. She sent out an email to them that was like, hey, I have this student who's a huge fan of your work, and I'm sure that he would love to hear from you. Would you be able to, like, I don't know, send him an email or something? And so the band sent me an email, and they were like, hey, we heard that you're a huge fan of ours and that you're also a poet. I was writing poetry at the time. And they were like, we would love to, see some of your work and, just like meet up with you, something like that. But the kicker to this, though, I guess the email went to spam or something. I did not see the email for months. And then one day my teacher asked me, she was like, hey, I don't want to like spoil my own surprise or anything, but like, have you gotten any like emails lately? And I was like, I get an email every day. What are you talking about? And she was like, okay, so here's the deal. Here's the tea. And she told me, and I was like, holy shit, what? And then I went and searched through and I realized that it had gone to spam or that I had missed it or something. But, so yeah, I'm into Elephant Revival again.
Nice.
I am also into... I've heard 2 people now have... And don't ask me to cite this, I don't know. But I've heard 2 people have now been cured of HIV. And so I'm really into that and the progress that portends there. However, the inverse of that is now everyone has decided that monkeypox is AIDS 2.0, and so I'm super not into that. Get fucking educated. It's not a gay disease, and I don't even really want to talk about it that much, but it's bullshit. And then the final thing I'm into, I have been, I don't know, just struck by the desire to go back to my roots and read some Shakespeare. So I've been reading Romeo and Juliet lately, and just the fucking language is so beautiful. Like, everyone hates Romeo and Juliet, and I get it. I really do. And I don't like Romeo and Juliet, the characters, as much, or the story, but the language, it's so good. It's so pretty. Ugh. Anyway.
Nice. I cannot believe I forgot to say that I am into Beyonce's latest album, Renaissance.
Oh, I haven't listened to it yet.
I just listened to it for the first time yesterday.
Oh.
It is so good. And I don't mean just like the individual songs are good. I just mean the album is good. And I'm like, this is what I've been missing. You know how last week I was talking about how I feel so inspired by new music, and it's all like, I can't
all the same
find anything that excites me. And this excited me. It is just a beautiful album as a whole, and also the songs are so good.
I mean, are we surprised?
And it's just, well, I mean, like, I'm not her. Sometimes, like, she'll put out stuff and I'm like I'm not gonna claim to be a beehive.
Yeah,
right.
same.
I'm a very casual Beyonce fan. Like, B-Day holds a special place in my heart, like those older albums, but like, I don't know her entire discography, but this was so good. You have to go listen.
She's
to
a prime example also
That's
of
all.
someone, like, we talked about One Direction being a perfect example of launching someone's solo career with Harry Styles, but I mean, Destiny's Child. We have Beyonce because of Destiny's Child, you know? Like, Beyonce,
I mean,
the Beyonce, you know? She had her roots.
Beyonce, sweet. I am so sorry that an ugly ass bitch like this would even say some shit like Beyonce. Are you serious? Do you know what that's from? It's from Flavor of Love.
Was it Tiffany Pollard who said that?
New York, the one and only.
She's also the one that said, I would like to let
Somebody
Gemma know that
her,
Gemma is a fat
that
cunt.
she is an ugly ass cunt.
Yeah.
Somebody lied to her several times.
Those are Old Maiden type shoes.
New York.
Yes. Yeah, iconic. So this is another thing that I'm into that you just reminded me of because of Beyonce's new album. Lizzo's new album, Special, is also very, very good. I don't know. I guess we're going into house music now that we're in like the early
70s
20s. It's there's a disco house revival that's happening, and I'm not necessarily super duper into that, but I've enjoyed what I've heard so far.
I love disco.
Also, Lizzo does have a song called Everybody's Gay, which I think is fun, and I did accidentally play at work the other day and did not change it because everyone that works at my store is a member of the community, the Alphabet Squad. So anyway, to our listeners,
wrap it up, Skittles Squad. Okay, I'm so sorry. We gotta wrap it up.
To our listeners, thank you so much for those of you that listening, for listening, for those of you that have. If you are still here, this is a long episode, but it needed to happen because it is one of about 3 things that Carolyn and I actually share in common. So thank you so much for listening.
This is also one of the only things I share in common with my 3 best friends, but like sometimes that's the only thing that matters.
That's all you need. One band, one dream, one direction.
Oh, fuck.
So thank you so much
This
for
has been
listening.
painful.
If you have enjoyed our content, please follow us on Instagram at Mutable Immutables. You can find us on Twitter at ImmutablesPod. You can also find the podcast on YouTube at Mutable Immutables, and we upload episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. A note here, we are going to start to shift direction, pun intended, to our city series here pretty soon, which I'm looking forward to. I have gotten really into learning about queer history, especially in certain locales. So that will be coming soon, but our episodes will also start to be a little bit more infrequent. I think we're going to move to bi-weekly moving forward, and I do still have my move situation coming up, which is now going to be the end of August. I still don't have a date specifically, but so anyway, turn on those post notifications, or just give us a follow so you can keep up with when we put our stuff out. And if you have liked what you've listened to, please rate us and give us a review or something like that, but please be kind.
Rate us, but only if it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Bye.